Oh yeah, and we're back, man. And I don't know if y'all heard about Gary, man. Like Gary, or I would say the whole Northeast Indiana is experiencing power outages. It's almost been about 2 weeks for some people, and I hear that they're prioritizing other areas instead of a whole metro area. GI. I'm Jay Lava. I scour the internet since you don't have to, and I bought you the news with Gary. So we're gonna have to get on into that now. The mainstream media is just kicking in to what's going on, so we're gonna bounce to them and see what they had to say. But I'm all about letting the people speak, so we're gonna see what the people got to say about it. Here we go.
Problem for residents in northwest Indiana just before 2 this afternoon. Electrical wires went down, causing traffic chaos at Route 41 and Main Street in Sherrville. Power is out and stoplights are not working at that busy intersection. Around 9,000 additional customers are without power right now. That is in addition to the tens of thousands in the region still without electricity since last week. It has been a long time for them. ABC 7's Lisette Nunez is live in Lake Station, Indiana, where frustrations continue to grow. Lisette.
Yeah, well, many communities in northwest Indiana, they are growing impatient for them. For some of them, it has been over a week since they've had electricity, and NIPSCO is now saying that it might be until next Tuesday for some of these communities to be back online. Growing frustration in northwest Indiana as communities continue to deal with the aftermath from August 11 storms.
They said now that our power will be back on next week. And that's kind of crazy because they did say that our power will be back on Friday. Like multiple other cities are back up and running.
Shay Bolden lives in Gary, Indiana. The mother of 3 has been without power for over a week now and hoping electricity is restored soon. Today, the Salvation Army gave out free lunches to families who have been impacted.
We're passing out box lunches, sack lunches, but they really need food as their power comes back on because they've lost everything out of the refrigerator. They're also needing cleaning supplies and hygiene products.
Over in Lake Station, several power lines remain on the ground and strewn on people's backyards. Some neighbors say they have taken it upon themselves to clean up.
Neighbors start cutting up the trees and stuff, making pathways for us to get out.
Many in Lake Station are also anxiously waiting for power to be restored.
The laundry is a big issue. It's a big issue because, you got to wear the same clothes. It's been a minute now with no, it's kind of bad. You got to make do.
NIPSCO leaders said yesterday they are working as quickly as they can to get people back online, but it's not been easy.
These are systems that are being rebuilt. These are lines that ordinarily take us in systems that ordinarily take weeks or months that we are trying to accomplish in days and or weeks. Restoration work continues every single day. Our crews remain focused on restoring our service safely.
Chris, what up?
And the city of Gary announcing that it had received 2 major donations to help with recovery efforts. One of those donations coming from the Hard Rock Casino in northwest Indiana. They are donating $100,000. The second donation coming from Glenn Big Dog Robinson, the NBA legend who is also from Gary, Indiana. He is donating $100,000 of his own money, which is something that the city of Gary is grateful for. We're live in Lake Station. Lisette Nunez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Lisette, thank you. And Governor Mike Braun spoke about efforts to restore power in northwest Indiana after touring flood damage in Noblesville.
Getting down to the stuff that's tougher to reconnect. And so hopefully that was going to be done by the weekend. We've asked them to pick up the pace. We're even going to put more state assets up here.
Braun previously activated the National Guard to help with the cleanup. He says NIPSCO management needs to do a better job in fully restoring power.
And some relief for Illinois residents affected by this summer's severe storms. Governor Pritzker now waiving penalties and interest for taxpayers in 15 Illinois counties. Residents or business owners seeking a waiver must send a written explanation to the Illinois Department of Revenue. We are posting more details on our.
Yeah, okay. So that's what the news had to say about it. But let's talk about what the people talking about, because they're not telling the same story.
You all want us to believe that while NIPSCO, the utility company, was helping to get the power turned back on in Gary, Indiana, this predominantly black neighborhood, that someone of this predominantly black neighborhood that is in need of electricity and water and food decided to shoot up the utility vehicle. And you want us all to believe that because you want the narrative to consistently be that the black community is ruthless. You want the narrative to have a level of savagery, so that way it can be excused as to why there is no urgency to help this specific community. Because you see white people all in the comment, oh, that is to be expected. Who didn't expect that? Anyone with a logical fucking brain. I implore the black community to not take these narratives on, especially if not one of us can corroborate that story with our own eyes. Because remember during Hurricane Katrina, or what I call the Katrina massacre, folks didn't find out until 20 plus years later that white folks and police were hunting black people, and that the bulk of people did not die because weather conditions or that a levee broke, but because someone decided to treat it like it was hunting season. You all want us to believe that while NIPSCO, the utility company, was helping to get the power turned back on in Gary, Indiana, this predominantly black.
I'm definitely going there right after this video, because there's some more stuff that's going on. Of course, with Nolan Wells that I got to get to, but the people speaking out right now about what's going on. There's a couple little excerpts. The Root was actually down there and went to go see what the goings on was. Let's see from the Root's perspective, because they supposed to be quote unquote about the black people.
I cannot believe no one is over here helping Gary.
Thousands of people in Gary, Indiana have been without power since August 11th.
The National Weather Service informed us that Gary faced the strongest winds, which reached 99 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane.
All the power is out, as far as I know, all across Gary, Indiana.
They're losing food. Homes are getting warmer.
They do not have money, and some of the cards aren't even working. I ran into some ladies that had children, and my heart broke.
My name's Aja, and I'm going on day 7 of having no power in one of Indiana's worst blackouts and one of the highest crime cities in Indiana.
NIPSCO, the company that services 100% of customers in Gary, are now saying that it may be until next Tuesday until many people get power back.
We're on day 9 of no power in Gary, Indiana.
My neighbor across the street, my teacher down two streets down, we have no air in here.
Schools are closed. Families are throwing away spoiled food. People are driving to Illinois just to find ice for insulin.
I am from Gary, Indiana. I was born there, raised there until I was about 8 years old. My family is from there and people still live there. And many people are telling me that they still don't have power. They have trees on top of their homes. One of my cousins sent me this video of a grocery store completely decimated, food spoiled. This is also where the city gave people vouchers to, $150 of vouchers, but this was the only place that they could use the vouchers.
I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana, and I don't like it.
Gary, Indiana specifically is also almost 85% black. That's important.
I think this should be national news, and it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about.
I cannot believe no one is over here helping.
Speaking of him, I actually got his whole joint where he had said, because he was supposed to do a food tour, and he like, yo, how I'm gonna do a food tour and Gary ain't even got no power? Like how can that go on? Hold on, let me get to that, because he busted down on TikTok real quick.
Gary, Indiana been without power for 8 days. We was talking about doing a food tour in the Midwest because we're going to Chicago next year for our festival. How we gonna do a food tour in the Midwest and Gary ain't had no power and ain't nobody talking about it? I, for one, have not seen anybody else outside of Gary, Indiana talk about what's going on in Gary, Indiana. And I don't like it. And if you know me, you know I put my money where my mouth is. So today alone, we've been on the phone with the mayor's office to see if there's ways we can get involved. We've been on the phone with Salvation Army to see if we can get a Salvation Army truck and just drive around and pass out necessities, goods, anything that we can get our hands on. Now I'm not only making this video to say, if you in Indiana and you know any ways we can get involved, please let me know. I'm also making this video to say, I think this should be national news. And it's crazy to me that it's not being talked about. All the stuff y'all talk about on social media nowadays, everybody got a think piece on everything. Why not a think piece on the fact that communities that look like myself been out with power for 8 days? Gary, Indiana, we will see y'all in a minute. The Midwest Food Tour is officially starting, and it's starting with y'all. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. This is my announcement. We will be there soon. Again, any way we can help, please let me know. We want to show up in the best way we possibly can. We don't want to just show up for the fact of showing up. So if you can let us know what's the best way to show up, I will forever be appreciative and grateful. I appreciate y'all.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what's up. Shout out to Keith Lee, man. Shout out to that brother, man. We need more like him. You know what I mean? Definitely need more like him. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know, man. I'm intimately acquainted with Gary my darn self. You know, my grandma lived in GI. I used to spend summers in GI. Shoot, I still got family in GI right now. I'm more than likely they straight because they got places to go and they cool. I'm sure they're good. Because I ain't heard no word on the family network, so I ain't tripping off that. But man, you just finding this out? Dang, for real? See, that's why I thought this story was important to do. Yes, I used to spend all my summers in GI. My grandma, if you know Gary, my grandma used to live on 4246 Georgia, right there by the IGA that burned down. Plus, I got cousins that went to Lew Wallace. I got people. I know people in Gary, man. I done had experiences in Gary. Gary is like, I can't let Gary go. It's right by Chicago. That's where I'm from. And then some of us moved out to Gary, right? And then from Gary, everybody moved to Las Vegas, where we at now. So that was like a little migration type of thing, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta give it up to GI though. I can't front on Glen Park. Can't even do it. Hold on. There was more of the people talking. The people, man. Oh, hold on. Even them folks. Look, even them folks. She been a loud advocate for Black people stuff. Listen to her.
Why am I having to learn from people's personal posts that majority Black, I'll say it again, majority Black Gary, Indiana is still without power more than a fucking week later? Why is this on the news? Why not on the national news? No food, no electricity, no air conditioner, no stores open in the area, no medical needs being taken care of. Still 20,000 fucking residents without power, and we're not hearing about it? This would be on the fucking news if this was a goddamn white neighborhood or a white town, what the fuck ever. It would be news. NIPSCO said that this caused 370,000 power outages. AP reported more than 300,000 people without power. That's not a oops, the lights flickered. That's not a uh-oh. That is a fucking regional infrastructure fucking crisis.
Okay, could you stop?
Yes, we know the storm was real. They had direct straight line winds at high speeds, 2 tornadoes, large hail, all the things, we know this. But the storm being real does not erase the question of neglect, and now NIPSCO, or whatever the fuck it is being sued. Of course, they haven't been found liable, so allegedly, they didn't fucking take the money that they got to clear the vegetation and make sure these lines were free of goddamn trees. So look what happened. Yes, the disaster was real. We know that. But the reason I'm so fucking mad is because this is not just because of a goddamn disaster. This is corporate neglect. Fucking failure. And then here we go. Somebody shot at the NIPSCO people coming to scout it out and see what was wrong. I'm sure they did. They said the NIPSCO crew went out there in an unmarked vehicle to scout the area, see what was wrong. Somebody randomly shot at the vehicle.
What?
It didn't hit anybody, but of course they had to pause the work they were doing until they finally resumed it. Of course we want you to protect the workers, but using this incident as a reason as to why it's too dangerous to go help them sounds awfully familiar to fucking Katrina. We've already seen a majority black city sit in the fucking dark with no help, no power, no food, no nothing. And yes, I'm comparing this to Katrina. I know it's not the same. I fucking know that. But what is the same is a majority black community begging for help, left in need, and it looks like there's absolutely no urgency to help them. Where is the news coverage? Oh, but you don't forget to push that narrative. It's too dangerous to go help them. Oh! Now we have residents, majority with kids, dealing with this heat and the humidity, no food, having to cook out together outside to be able to cook. Autistic kids, people that don't have their medicine. Why do y'all not give a fuck? Where is the empathy? I don't get it. Where is the empathy? But y'all say you're Christians. You love to say you're a Christian, but there's never empathy for anybody else that doesn't look like you. Where are the trucks? Where are the generators? Where are the cooling centers? Where is all the medical help? Where is all the coverage again? Where is the help? Because you cannot tell me if this was a white community sitting in the dark with no resources, there wouldn't be 1 million goddamn people on the street and this shit on every fucking news channel. And the only reason people are starting to finally pay attention is because black residents have to be so goddamn loud on the internet. You can't miss it. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so fucking sick of it. And don't drop the fucking comments. I don't want to read them on this. There are people in fucking need. No, they didn't do something wrong. No, they didn't need to comply. No. I don't want to hear it. Y'all should be ashamed. Absolutely ashamed. You can't call yourself a Christian or an American. Neither of the two.
She did. Ad revenue gone, but I had to go ahead and let her snap out. I mean, sometimes this message just got to be just said like you just said. You know how black YouTube do black creators. As soon as y'all say the F word 1 or 2 times, it's gone. But all this garbage music out here is getting monetized. But whatever. Everybody's sounding off. And I'm here to let them do that. Go ahead and tell them, sis, because she said it's been about 8 days.
Why was I today years old when I found out that people in Gary, Indiana have gone 8 days with no electricity? Now, I'm tuned in. 14. And for the first time, I saw live coverage from the mayor and the energy company today, 8 days after a severe storm knocked out power for tens of thousands of residents. And they're not getting it back until like the 25th. So what's actually going on? Well, for starters, Gary is a city in decline. Aging infrastructure, population loss, decades of underinvestment. That's exactly the kind of city that gets flattened by a severe weather event like this, and it takes a long time to come back. It's also a city that's over 3/4 black and one of the poorest pockets in the entire state. So this story has gotten some national coverage, but nowhere close to the wall-to-wall attention that a disaster like this deserves. So if you've watched to this point, make sure to share it because no town in America should be sitting in the dark feeling like they're too small to be considered. Why was I today years old when I found out that...
Hey, everybody, and everybody's comparing it to Katrina too. Like it's uncanny. Exactly. The comparison between
Gary, Indiana.
Former Gary official, she's a resident of Gary, and she said the situation feels like a post-Katrina-like situation. Would you agree?
Well, it certainly feels that way at night when myself still without power. And you see children walking, trying to get food to eat. When you see senior citizens that's calling, asking for assistance, it definitely feels that way. So this is something that we're going to be working on post power being turned on.
Positive energy and high vibrations going out to the citizens in Gary, Indiana. Now they're saying that the cause of the power outage was due to a storm on August 11th where the winds were 99 miles per hour. But when I think about Gary and they mentioned Katrina, when I think about that, the words that immediately come to my mind are purge, beta testing, clinical trials. Yeah, then I also remember what they said at the WEF, World Economic Forum, when they said that the next greatest threat to mankind was the grid going down. Gary, Indiana.
All right, y'all. Y'all better pay attention. Y'all better pay attention. Yeah, what also was already known ain't got to be said.
Y'all, Gary, Indiana has been sitting in the dark for over a week, and some families are looking at a total of 14 days without power. Let's break down exactly what happened and why almost nobody outside of Chicago and Indiana are talking about this. Welcome to the Daily Download. On August 11th, there was a derecho that hit in northwest Indiana, and what a derecho is basically a severe windstorm. And this windstorm caused 370 NIPSCO customers, which is the power provider in the area, to go without power. And out of this whole area, Gary, Indiana, which is a predominantly black city within Indiana, is recovering the slowest and was also hit the hardest. This outage right now is the worst outage that NIPSCO has ever experienced in its whole entire history. Is the power back? No. Still to this day, there's about 72,000 customers that are still without power. And get this, Gary, Indiana is set to be the last city to be fully restored. On August 25th, 2 weeks after the storm even hit. Compare that to Chicago, which got hit with the same storm and became fully restored within 4 to 5 days. NIPSCO is the only investor-owned electric utility in northwest Indiana. Gary, Indiana residents only have one choice when it comes to power providers. It's one of 5 sanctioned monopoly utilities within the state of Indiana, and it already has the highest electric rates in the state, with residents fighting proposed rate hikes even before this storm. So the people of Gary, Indiana are paying monopoly prices, but are getting piss poor service. Gary is roughly 85% black and is one of the most economically distressed cities in the entire state on purpose. This is environmental racism playing out in real time. Infrastructure and investment in disaster response consistently move slower in black communities, and it's not consistent. And it's not a coincidence either. It's a pattern. Food deserts have been made worse with no refrigeration. Medically vulnerable residents have no power and are at risk. And schools are being delayed up to an entire school year. And yet, you probably did not hear about this. This is very consistent when it comes to the water in Flint, Michigan, the water in Jackson, Mississippi, and now we have the windstorms that cause power outages in Gary, Indiana. When it comes to black areas, black cities, black towns, black counties, it seems the country doesn't give a fuck when they're going through plight or atrocities. How could I forget Hurricane Katrina? Anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think about this. Please continue to...
Yeah, he broke that down. Appreciate that, bruh. You know, the people is talking all over. More people that's been affected on the 2-week side of the game.
We bringing attention on social media. We saying there's not enough news about this, and there's still some people talking reckless, talking about, oh, well, it's violent out there. I'm from a small town like Gary, Indiana myself. I'm from Muskegon, Michigan. I have the privilege to live in Denver, Colorado at this moment. Now, if Denver lost power and the surrounding areas like Aurora, like Lakewood, we all lost power here for the last 8 days, I guarantee you that would be national news. That might even make the world news, because there's more money out here. It's more affluent, so to speak. But when you put that into a small, condensed size, and then you make that population impoverished and you make them colored, it's no news. So my question is, why do people tell me to stop race baiting and making it a race thing while also you in my comments, you over acknowledge what I'm saying and you under acknowledge what your own people saying. I done have people tell me I need to get my niggas in check and all of this shit. Like, if violence is a thing, which we know Gary has had a crime problem since forever, but now it's gonna be to a higher extreme because it's no longer just crime out of convenience, it's crime out of necessity. If they can't go get what they need from where they normally can go get what they need, they gonna start taking it. And there's innocent people in every corner of this earth, man. Right. So just because there is a crime-stricken community doesn't mean that they don't matter. There's a reason why it's crime in the first place. People don't just choose crime. Like, I'm trying to keep my composure, man. Shout out to Keith Lee bringing like the most exposure to this situation. It's a shame that it's coming from a content creator and not from the news. And I'm sure there is local outlets reporting on it in Indiana, but I didn't see it nowhere except for somebody in Indiana on my Instagram, which is leading me to make these videos because this shit is not cool. What's really
straight up, I agree with the brother, man. So if speaking of news though, I did want to see, yeah, they've been out of power for like 2 weeks, fam. It's crazy. I want to dip over to the Chicago news, CBS Chicago, real quick to see what they was squawking about. Hold on, let me do a little adjustment for y'all so we can get it in here. All right, y'all. Let's see what the CBS.
And frustrations here in Gary really came to a tipping point after NIPSCO released estimated restoration times for areas across northwest Indiana, and Gary was left off of it. Now we know why. NIPSCO crews continue to repair the nearly 300 power poles damaged in Gary, Indiana.
Did anybody come out here in the Etna area and do that? No.
Bridget Sanders is one of more than 20,000 still without power in Gary.
We are being left behind. Every time something go on, Gary is left behind. We are the last one on the totem pole to get anything done.
Gary's mayor and leaders with NIPSCO's parent company say next Tuesday is the earliest power will be fully restored.
I want to be clear, Gary has not been left behind.
NIPSCO says Gary has been left off of recent restoration timeline updates because the utility didn't have confidence on when power could be restored. The company says a labor dispute earlier this year that locked out more than 1,500 workers is not contributing to the delay.
We did not defer, we did not decrease, we continued to perform the work.
You're actually looking at my shit shed.
Not what I used to look like. Penelope Love is without power, like so many in the hard-hit Etna Manor neighborhood.
People get tired, and they're getting a little weary.
Love is president of the Neighborhood Revitalization Program, and while so much has been damaged or destroyed, she's grateful for what she does have.
We've not lost water. We've not lost actual homes where you can no longer see where people actually lived. I'm sorry.
Just take your time.
But the idea is that we got our lives.
And the Gary Police Department also warning of generator thefts. They say that they have received reports of about a dozen or so taken from garages and also some that have been unsecured from homes. In Gary, Indiana, Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Chicago.
When you speak in terms of a test run, you know what I'm saying, what's going to happen when the people is super duper restless. We got another brother in Gary. He in Indiana.
Cherryville's fire chief tells us that based on information they have from utility contractors on the scenes, it appears that the sleeves failed, causing the power lines to fall. NIPSCO is calling this a pole fire, and they're asking to please avoid the area and use.
Oh, that's something else. I thought that was like another update. Hold on. This brother, I think, is in Indiana, and he had some bust down to break down something about the community.
All right, family, we're bringing y'all breaking news out of Gary, Indiana. On August 11th, they suffered from severe storms, and over 100,000 people are still without power. It's been so many conflicting reports saying that over 300,000 people started without power, 225,000 was actually restored, but now I'm seeing that that's not the case, and those numbers could fluctuate. But I know a little bit about storm teams and power outages covering Hurricane Katrina and other storms on the security aspect in South Carolina, and I know that it's a long process. If Indiana doesn't have the resources to do it, why isn't surrounding states and counties actually sending their resources to get these people back up and operated? Now, it is limited resources in most of these states, but I don't know if it's a black issue because they say it's 90% African American in these areas without power, but that's what's being actually presented to the public. But we just have to shed light on it. Have you heard anything about this story? Let me know. Comment below. Share the content.
What you mean? I'm first of all, the way you talking got me side eyeing you. Then you talking about you don't know if it's a black issue. What you mean by that? Huh? What you mean by that, fam? So you gotta I'm smelling a little something. I'm smelling a little something. Renee, what's going on? Renee's love in the building. Shout out to all my mods and all my members right now. Y'all be working hard over there in the chat. I do appreciate that. My man say, you want to know what's really going on in Gary, though?
I need y'all to understand what's happening in Gary, Indiana right now. There's some misinformation, so let's get the facts straight. August 11th, a terrible storm hit northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. The past week, the storms continued through the Midwest and Ohio Valley, with tornadoes, destructive winds, and power outages. In Gary, 36,000 people lost power and are still without power 8 days later, and more than 100,000 in northwest Indiana. Collapsed trees on houses, power lines in the street, not to mention all the food gone bad. And yes, Gary is mostly black, about 80%. So why hasn't this been national news? We're changing that now. The first step is increasing awareness. The more people know what's happening, the harder it is to be overlooked. I'll be looking into official resources and sharing them here to help. This is my hometown, family, and friends I grew up with. Help any way you can. We refuse to let Gary be invisible. Ain't that right, Mike? I need y'all to...
I like that. Ain't that right, Mike? For sure. Yeah, nah, we ain't finna let them do. At least me. I wouldn't care. I'm gonna do my part because I'm definitely not finna let them do Gary like that. It's just not happening. Not on my watch. I don't care. There's a medley of all the good folk in Gary that I was able to come past. It's kind of got like a little slideshow, little thingamajiggy going on here. Let me see if I can get this together because it's like 6 or 7 videos on the whole this thing. But no, I ain't finna let nothing happen like that to Gary now. Y'all can talk all you want. Not only is it the birthplace of the king, but it's my old stomping grounds too, fam. I used to get it in GI, man. All right, hold on. Yeah, I think okay. This the medal. Yeah, okay, so this is Aja. She say she from the Joan. And hold on real quick. Let me just go ahead. Let me go back because there's a couple different it's a couple different people spitting they spit. My man's showing you how he get out with the whoopty worries. Hold on, did I skip Aja? Because Aja said there was like a
news is not reaching people. It seems like the only videos that are getting reach are from people who are affected immediately by the situation.
Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I don't like the way this is moving. It's like, okay, now this the thing right here. Let me see if I can play them individually, and then I'll try to go into the. Okay, there we go. It popped on like that. Let's bring Aja back to the beginning. All right, because she.
I'm still.
There we go.
Because things just keep getting worse and worse. We are now under a boil advisory. I was informed by someone at the sanitation district that the longer we don't have power, the less they're going to be able to basically filter and clean the water. So we need to boil everything on the stove with no power. My name's Aja, and I'm still in the dark. I know a lot of people don't like to hear me curse, but things just keep getting worse and worse. We are now under a boil advisory. I was informed by
I don't know why
someone at the
this is
sanitation
playing
district that the
slower.
I live
longer
in
we don't
Gary,
have
Indiana,
power,
but it's been
the
over
less they're going to be able to
240,000 people
basically
without
filter
power.
and clean the
No
water.
lights, no
So we
Wi-Fi,
need
can't
to
charge your phone.
boil everything on the stove with no power. My name's Aja, and I'm still in the dark. My name's Aja.
I got to get off of that. It was acting super weird. I was trying to tame it. You know, stuff happens when you're live sometimes. Excuse me. Let me go ahead to the next vitralis. If you see something, say something. Identify and report suspicious activity. Okay, that's a hell of a warning, I guess. See, you know what? Today, look, they talking about let's get back to Nolan Wells because y'all want to, y'all want to stir up some mess, don't y'all? Hold on, man. All right, I got something for y'all because I don't. You know what? Not today. Not today. Y'all can go. Y'all can do that some other time. Today we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that today. See, y'all done caught me on the wrong day. Yeah, and if I don't get you, one of my mods gonna get you. Yeah, okay, yeah. Let me go ahead and get them up out of here real quick, so we can just have a decent conversation. I ain't got time for that today. You know what? Yeah, see, okay, you got. I put some videos to the side, and I said that I wasn't going to be petty. But you know what? As when I be trying to be cool, when I be trying to be cool, I don't be trying to, you know what I'm saying, clown nobody. I be forced into this way of life. I be forced into this way of life. See, they over here in my chat, and fortunately, you know, I had to block. Yeah. Man, listen, fam. Hold on. Because this is what y'all should be worried about. Y'all want to talk about what y'all want to talk about something? Just know I got all the topics on deck that y'all should be actually talking about on y'all podcast. Since y'all want to type so much and y'all got so much to say, these are the type of things that y'all should be worried about. Go ahead, bust it down.
According to many, he is considered the worst pedophile in U.S. history. This is former pediatrician Dr. Earl Bradley. He was charged with sexually abusing 103 children, 102 girls and 1 boy.
Do y'all ever make any content about stuff like this? Do y'all really care about what's going on in your own community? That's all I want to know. Is this stuff that y'all really, because y'all over here got the typity types going on, but I'm like, there's a scourge. There is demons in your community preying on your children. And y'all not even really concerned with that. Go on.
In 2010, he was arrested on 471 counts of child molestation.
Damn, that's a lot, B. You know what? Give me all the EBT. Give me all the DEI. Give me all the food stamps. All that. Give me and my people all that. Guess what we don't get, though? Guess what we ain't got no parts of that y'all can just totally own? That's all yours. Folks like this.
Rape and sexual abuse. Some of the victims were as young as 3 months old. In April of 2010, he was charged with an additional 58 charges. in relation to an additional 24 victims. According to court records, his abuse reached back to 1995. And on June 26, 2012, he was sentenced to 14 consecutive life terms plus an additional 165 years. I think it's safe to say he will never step foot outside of a prison, and rightfully so. A class action lawsuit was filed representing over 1,400 families, but I was unable to find any information about how that turned out or if it's still going on. So if you know, please let me know in the comments.
This is y'all community. I don't want to hear nothing about that 13, 15. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. Because it ain't just one of y'all. No, this is indicative to your culture is what it is. Oh, you don't believe me, huh? Oh, you just want to know if you just cherry picking. You just cherry picking. We ain't really like that. Oh, really? Really? Y'all not really like that? All right, well, family, allow me to paint y'all a picture. Let me show you how much of damn near Negro Damas I be, right? So a little while ago, y'all know my thing is turning these demons into devils, right?
Service Sam.
So a little while ago, really, I decided to turn one of these. So a little while ago, y'all know my thing is turning these demons into devils, right?
Service.
This dude right here. Hold on, where you at? This one. This one right here. It was a minute ago. This was back several weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that. I decided to turn. Y'all remember the judge who presided over the Dylan Roof case? You know what I'm saying? And remember I had read this off to you. It says conservative judge who called Dylan Roof's family victims after he murked 9 black churchgoers, enters a plea deal for possession and distribution of materials depicting sexual abuse with children. Right? Hello? What? Were you in the front of the school? My bad, y'all. I had to handle this little kid at the school issue real quick. She just got out of cheerleaders practice, and I had to make sure the ride was coordinated because I had to stream. Hold on, give me 2 seconds real quick because I got a point. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, boom. I just had to send that text. Boom. So you remember this dweeb right here? And then, right, you hear what you hear what he did, and it sounds terrible as hell. Rightfully so. I make him a demon. Make him a devil, right? Rightfully so, right? But wait till now. My ad revenue is gone from this one because they didn't send all the cuss words ever, right? But wait, somebody dug into the case. Somebody dug into the case on dear old judge here, Judge James Gosnell Jr. Right? There's some horrific details. I don't really want to do your ears like this. Thanks, family. I don't really want to do your ears like this, but y'all got to hear how these demons move, but they want to be over here in my chat. Well, listen to this then.
Tell you what this judge did to a 2-week-old baby, a 3-month-old baby, a 5-month-old baby, 5-year-old and 2-year-old. You're gonna be sick to your stomach. So this is a judge in Charleston County, South Carolina. He's a magistrate judge out there. His name is James Gosnell Jr. They see so much. I think it's called CSAM material. I had to learn what that was. I had to know what that was. I will leave it in the comments what it is because you probably don't know what it is. Like I didn't know what it was. He's a PDF file, okay? And he's 68, which means in my mind, he's gotten away with this shit for 68 years. And it's some of the things he's done. His neighbor had I think their baby was 3 months at the time. They had a 3-month-old baby girl. Their babysitter bailed on them. So he offered to watch their baby instead. He then watched the baby. It makes me gag a little bit.
Now, why would these folks sit up here and let this creepy old dude watch their baby? Huh? Judge or not, I don't care if you're a judge. You're not watching my baby. But listen.
He watched their 3-month-old baby girl, and he sent over pictures and text to some other PDF file saying that he assaulted this baby. I don't even know. Lord. He put his mouth on this baby's private area. He did that to the baby, front and back door. He did that to the baby. Then he says he finished on this baby at least 7 times to the point where the baby looked like a glazed donut. He sent that. That's one thing. Then he said he recently went to Mexico. He went to Mexico and he bought 2 children. He bought a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and he essayed the 5-year-old in the back door. Sent that as a text and video and pictures as well. Then his other neighbors, I think she was 5 months old. Yeah, outside. You would think he's just sitting down holding a baby on his lap. No, he's putting his fingers in the baby. It is, when I say the worst of the worst, I am literally sick. Oh, and then another thing. Him and whoever this person is, he's in communication with, who he's sending these texts and videos and the things that he's doing. He also got together with this man, and they went to Texas to go see this man's nephew's baby so that they both could sexually assault this baby. Whatever prison he go to, I need them to be on a job. Yeah. Whatever prison he ends up in, No. It has to be an eye for an eye. It has to be an eye for an eye. It has to be an eye for an eye because this is sick. It's sick, and I feel like jail ain't enough. Just sitting in jail, in your jail cell, that is not enough.
Man, and y'all over here in my chat, and y'all got these devils in y'all community. I ain't seen nobody make a space about him yet. Somebody said we need to pray for the white community. Who said that? That's funny. But I'm saying though, how come we ain't seen no space about this? How come they always in the chat? He drowned. But ain't nobody talking about these demons and these devils in their community. I'm talking about real live, straight up Beelzebubs. Real live, straight up large Marge. Like demons. But they want to sit up here and talk about, is he in prison? He should be. He really, really, really should. He should have his own prison built for him. Where he never gets out. Where they just feed him his food in a hole and they don't change the toiletries or not. He just need to sit in a room. Just him and everything that he eat and come out of him. And that ain't even enough. That's not even enough. So when we over here talking about Gary trying to show solidarity with our people, and then you got bums in here. Notice the bums come in here talking about we need to talk about Nolan or Carmelo, because y'all want to look energy vampires, y'all. Hold on, now it's time for me to teach my peeps. Y'all done sparked a lesson. I love when y'all give me ammo to teach. That's what I love, right? Y'all walk right into the plans every time. Energy vampires is what they call it, y'all. Hold on, my sis break it down so eloquently, right? Hold on. Let me get to my sistra, because I got them for y'all. Come on, sis. Bust it down for me, because I be trying to teach these lessons You understand what I'm trying to say? And they need to understand what it is.
Y'all know they only keep saying hard ER and calling us hard ERs because that's the last straw they got. We're not giving them no emotion in any other way. We're not reacting to anything other than that word. That's their last Hail Mary. What y'all should do, if you gotta get a laugh, personally, I would laugh in their face and tell them thank you, because I know the origins of the word. I know what injure really mean, where it stemmed from, how culturally, ancestrally, it meant God.
Right.
But like everything else that's ours and means something that we hold dear, they demonized it, weaponized it, turned it into something with a negative connotation so heavy that it triggers us, and we give this reaction that they need in order to feed. 98% of them are energy vampires. That's why, where are the blacks? Where are the blacks? The world is going to shit. Where are the blacks? And that's why they keep provoking us as a community, trying to get that reaction, trying to siphon that energy. They're vampires. They need it. They feed off of it.
Now y'all understand why they be in the comments. Not only do they be working, trying to disrupt black discourse, that's also a job. Let's not forget they got a job. Trina, thank you for the jewels, babe. That it's not only a job, but it's also to get that energy, though. It's a lot of getting that energy, though.
We have enough to feed them and ourselves, which is why as soon as we give it to them, we can bounce back. But that's not the point. The point is, you have to get the last word. If you can't just look at them like, thank you. Sure am. And still doing better than you in life. And you can't do it like that.
Right.
Then call them Neanderthal pedophile. That's really going to piss them off. Because a good 85% of them are.
Huh.
Yep. So when they hardy are, you hardy are. You say, I sure am, you Neanderthal PDF file. But you say the real word.
Right.
And then you go into how they probably touching on their daughters or their nieces or their sons.
Right now.
Then you're going to get the same reaction they're trying to pull out of you. I promise you.
Actually, guys, I got one better for you. You want to know a better one that really gets their goat? Call them translucent toddler touchers. Woo-hoo! Oh, my God. Do you want to see somebody chimp out? Call them translucent toddler touchers. Man. You want to see her reaction? Watch them start typing because I said that. You little translucent toddler touchers. Huh? Is that you? Huh? Are you thinking about it, thought about it, or about to go touch somebody? Huh? Is this your pit stop before you go assault somebody? Huh? You got to work it up in the chat. You got to work yourself into a frenzy with the blacks before you go take it out on one of your family members? Yep. I heard that too through some foundation. Yes, indeed I did. Yes, indeed I did. We got some very smart viewers on the Keep It P podcast. Boy, we got some very intelligent viewers on the Keep It P podcast. Little touchy feelies. Yeah. Call them translucent toddler touchers. And they are going to lose their damn mind. They're going to lose their mind. They're going to lose it. Trust me, I'm doing it right now on Facebook right now. This Judge Roach, y'all. So you know he just got recused, right? So they is over in the comments. I mean, I can't answer all the comments. I showed y'all yesterday, it was like 3.1K comments. Now it's 3.7K comments. I'm talking about comments galore. This is probably finna be my first reel to hit like 250,000 views because they can't stop being racist because I called their boy a devil. I called their boy a devil and they can't let it go. And then, you know, and look, this is a funny thing that they all say. It's funny how his skin turns black when he becomes a devil. I was like, you know, like, you know, because they gotta pick something out. You know what I'm saying? It's mighty funny that his skin turns black when he becomes a devil. I'd be having to get him though, like it's your little triggered self. Thanks for the jewels, Ebony. Yeah, but just because I got they boy out here looking crazy, they've been on the spot. But you know what? That's really all I really want to do is touch on GI. There was one more thing that I want y'all to see is actually the unity in the community, because don't act like stuff be going down and people ain't on it trying to, you know, help out. I want to make sure y'all see the unity aspect of the community. I just had to get the busters real quick.
At this food giveaway in Gary,
We gotta pull the land off this one.
put on by NIPSCO and the Gary NAACP, some have gone almost a week without power.
So every day I gotta take myself to somewhere out of town just so I can stay warm and have some hot water.
Telling us the need is so great, it's turning deadly, especially at traffic lights.
You know, I had a friend of mine, Darnell, that had passed away in a terrible car accident yesterday.
We did just set up an oxygen station on 3301 Broadway.
Gary Fire Chief Larry Tillman says they are trying to help circulate necessary resources. We spoke with him.
I'm still without power at 2 locations.
Councilwoman Linda Barnes Caldwell.
I think folks need to realize restoration is based off the severity of the damage.
And Mayor Eddie Melton outside City Hall today. Tillman says there have been countless calls for downed trees, the smell of gas, and generator fires.
Since the storm, we've doubled the number of calls that have been coming in every day.
Mayor Eddie Melton says some of the larger power service areas are still undergoing damage assessments. NIPSCO says 90% of customers will have their power back by tomorrow, the rest by Friday. At this food giveaway in Gary,
We gotta pull the land.
That's why I decided to cover this one, man. I'm always trying to make sure I give a little highlight to the stories that we need to know. You know what I'm saying? In case you got some people down there or something, or you need to check on your folk. You know what I mean? Just because the news don't make it like it's important. I felt like it was important, so I had to go ahead and go ahead. You know, my shorty on the people side of the game said this day 8 for her.
Good morning, America. So here is your day 8 updates, because we are now on day 8 and we have no power in Gary, Indiana, and most of Northwest Indiana. So as of yesterday, they did drop a oxygen refill station on Broadway near Indiana University. So if you've been up in the house without your oxygen tank, or you know, anything of that nature, your kids, grandparents, yourself, go ahead. If you can make it to that is available and it's free. If I'm correct, NIPSCO did update yesterday and say that there is only 75,000 people now without power, as to the original 300,000 without power in Northwest Indiana as a whole. Now, the main thing I want to talk about is the fact that this is not on the news. I know this may seem small to many, but if this is something that, if everybody would talk about it and we can get it to the world,
yeah.
The United States sends food and help to countries every day.
Yeah.
We are on day 8. We have not gotten a FEMA package, not a presidential package, not a federal package. We ain't got a damn thing besides what the other cities is donating to us and what we buying.
And also, this is a message. That's right. This is my man said earlier, if you missed the video, it's a trial test run. You know what I'm saying? On some purge type stuff. Like, don't think the crazy can't happen. Don't think it can't happen. Make sure y'all got some water. Make sure y'all got some canned goods and some non-perishables. You know what I'm saying? And black people, you already know, we know what's up. As soon as it happened, all the meat's coming out the freezer. We're barbecuing it all. So make sure you got some barbecue, some bread and all that. Make sure, but most importantly, the water. You got to have water. I would suggest, you know what I'm saying, if you can, at least 2, 48s per person in the house. 2 to 3 48s. You know what I'm saying? That should get you through a little time. You know what I mean? At least the water. Then y'all already know, man, y'all need to get some survival books. How to make makeshift stoves, and you know what I mean? So you can boil your rice. Make sure you get you some filters for water. How to make clean water. You know what I'm saying? And this is just little stuff. This ain't even getting the generators and all of that. If you can get the generators and all of that, that's cool too. But what they don't tell you about the generator is, you definitely gonna need some gas. How you gonna get the gas if the pumps ain't working? And storing gas is pretty tricky. I mean, you can store a little bit. Yeah, something to strike, get them campfires, matches, candles. We talking about dollar store stuff. Y'all can go up in Family Dollar and snap out on little things that you can have to keep you right. It ain't got to be fancy. You ain't got to have gourmet rations. You know what I'm saying? Corned beef hash, sardines, Vienna sausages, whatever. Straight up though. Whatever it is, kerosene, alcohol, like the alcohol, rubbing alcohol. If you put that together right and do the little woo-de-woo, you can have little heaters and woo. Because think about it, y'all, it's about to be cold. Luckily, this is happening to the folks in the Midwest in the summer. It could be a lot worse, fam, if they had one of them old 10, 15 below days, nah. This could be terrible. A lot of people could perish. Y'all got to know them survival skills, man. Hey, look, even if you ain't into reading books, man, it's a million videos on YouTube to get you right up to speed on what to do. All type of survival tips and hacks and tricks. You know what I'm saying? Watch a couple of them videos while you're on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? While you eating your lunch at work. Maybe you shouldn't be congregating. Maybe you should be studying up on how to get it together, what you need. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about to be cold. It's about to be cold outside. Hey, how many of y'all know that you're supposed to heat up the smallest room? So that might be the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Hey, soon as something pop off, who know to fill the tub up immediately? Fill up the sink immediately. You know what I'm saying? Soon as something pop off, fill up as many as buckets and whoop-de-woo-woo-woo as you can. It's all type of stuff, man. Yeah, that's really what this broadcast was about, man, for y'all to see how it could go down. To shed some light on Gary, no doubt, but this is also a cautionary tale. But I'm gonna let her cook out.
All these people up in my comments saying, I never heard of this, I never knew this. How can y'all be on day 8 and nobody knows about this? Why is the news not covering this? Please take ABC News, take your favorite celebrity, take your favorite artist, take your favorite rapper. Please. Gary, Indiana, Northwest Indiana needs help. Now, shout out to Mayor Melton, though, because he's doing his thing. You know, y'all need to do a little bit more better updates. Y'all need to be updating as much as I'm updating. So, all my people, we need to be grouping together. We do not need to be laughing at each other over stupid stuff. We do not need to be talking about each other. We do not need to be arguing over whether it's day 6, 7, 8, or 9. It doesn't matter. We are out of power. Do you know how many people are in a worse situation than you? Do y'all know how many people is deceased in their houses right now? They kids, because they was on life support. They was up on breathing machines. We just got a refill on oxygen machines on day 8. Do you think them people lasted that long? You know how many people is up in their houses right now? And if anybody was wondering, the update on my grandmother's house, she does in fact still have a tree on her house. There are multiple people in business reaching out to me. I'm trying to get to everybody's messages. I appreciate everybody. If you have a crane, please, you feel free to just go over there. If you're not trying to charge us nothing crazy, all my proceeds is going straight to my grandmother's house because I am paying for it out of my pocket. If you want to donate, please DM me. I got cash out. I'm not asking for no money. I've never asked for no money. Y'all are in my comments saying that y'all want to send us money, and we appreciate it. And last thing I just want to say is just remember that if you're going through something, it's somebody who's going through it 3 times worse than you. Literally. Be kind to all people. Be nice, and please group together. We are all one.
That's right, girl. A real message. Real message. Positive vibes. Sending positive vibes and energy to Gary, Indiana, and my people in the struggle right now. You know. That's pretty much it that I had on this particular topic. Oh, well, there was a news joint that I wanted to see how they kind of like summed it up a little bit. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Cause they had a little news joint. I be trying to get all the news, you know what I'm saying? Let me see what this is what this hitting on. Oh, that's your boy. Okay, I don't want to hear from him. Other than that, though, man, hey, listen, I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. And you know, I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and if you're new here, I need you to go ahead, subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike in the algorithm, comment your vomit, and share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones. And just to bring it all the way home, I got love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha for Shoha. Got another video to come back with so that you know how, okay? And we doing some crime tonight. Yickety.